Okay. Now it's being live streamed. Okay. Now we're being live streamed now. If we can begin the meeting. Good afternoon, Delegate Healy, Chair of the Subcommittee on Local Government by County Agencies. This is our first meeting of the subcommittee this year, 2023, and we have a very short agenda. Before we start, I wanted to tell you, especially the new members, if you want a good resource for information about local government in Maryland, there's a series of books that were sent to your offices. And volume 6 is all about Maryland local government. I mean, all you could possibly imagine.
Yeah.
So,
I'm sorry.
Yes?
Chair Healy, can you just tell us what the books are?
It's called the Legislative Handbook Series, volumes.
Oh, sorry, I couldn't see it. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm trying to hold it up so everybody can see.
Okay, great.
Yeah, it's the Legislative Handbook Series, and volume 6 is local government. So it's a very good thing to have as a reference. And if you want to know about how these there's all kinds of different forms of government, you would be surprised how many. So take a look at that when you get some time. Today we have only 2 bills on the agenda. The one bill is Delegate Solomon's bill. And that's the one that we're waiting for the person from the Maryland, Delaware, DC Press Association to get on the call. So we'll take up the other bill first, which is the Washington County Delegation Bill, House Bill 197, which is an increase in the sheriff's salary. And Matt, would you explain the bill?
Sure. So HB 197 is from the Washington County delegation. The bill would establish that the salary of the Washington County Sheriff is equal to 90% of the salary for the state's attorney of Washington County. And the bill would also repeal the requirement for Washington County's Salary Study Commission to study and issue a report that contains recommendations relating to the salary of the county sheriff. I just would note that this is a reintroduction of House Bill 873 from 2022. That bill, both bills are identical, and House Bill 873 of 2022 passed the House of Delegates by a vote of 132 to 0.
Okay.
I'm happy to answer any additional questions.
Yeah, are there any questions about the bill?
Move the bill.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. This is basically a local courtesy bill to increase the sheriff's salary, and it won't go into effect until there's an actual changeover.
Yes.
Anyway, all those in favor of this local bill, say aye.
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 Any opposed, please say no. The ayes have it. So that bill will be on the voting list in committee. For your information, the function of the subcommittee is to advise the full committee. We make recommendations. We don't really pass legislation in the subcommittee. We recommend to the full committee after we discuss and decide whether we think it needs amendments or anything like that. So have we heard from Rebecca yet?
We have. I think she was trying to print some documentation that she needed and ran into an issue with her printer. She emailed me a couple minutes ago to say she was just running a couple minutes behind. And since we had the other bill to take care of, as well as some general matters.
Well, we're kind of there now, though.
Yeah, I'll follow up with her right now. I might put myself on mute and give her a quick call.
Okay.
One quick thing while we have a moment. The books that Delegate Healy mentioned, the Legislative Handbook Series, are also available online under the Publications tab on the MGA website. You would search under 2022 as the year, and if anybody wants me to direct you to those, since they're easier to use and searchable with a control find search, I'd be glad to show any of you how to do that. So let me put myself on mute, and I'll give Rebecca a call now.
Okay.
My assistant knew right where they were, Chairwoman Healy.
Well, is there anything anybody wants to talk about for the good of, we are being live streamed, so we don't want to go too far afield, but if there's anything related to the business of the subcommittee, Delegate Terraza.
I just want to say how nice it is to see so many faces. This is a much bigger committee than it was last year, and it looks like a wonderful group.
I agree. Okay, looks like we're getting somebody.
So,
Rebecca Snyder,
Chair Healy, can I
Hi.
say, oh, okay.
there you are.
I'm so
Hello.
sorry. I should have looked downstream in the link. My apologies.
That's great. I'm glad to see you.
Likewise, likewise.
Uh, we have Delegate Solomon's bill, which is a reintroduction of the bill that we had in the committee last year, and which passed the House and then didn't quite make it all the way through the process.
Right.
But it's my understanding, and I think Matt will verify that this is identical to the legislation as it passed the House, which was a result of a lot of negotiations with you and your organization. And I just wanted to give you an opportunity to just have your say about it now.
Madam
Yes.
Chair, excuse me, Madam Chair, could you state what the bill number is?
I'm sorry, it's House Bill 104.
Thank you.
Yes. And so, Chair, you are correct. This is the product of a lot of dedicated work between Delegate Solomon and the Press Association. And what was important to us was that we preserved notice in print because it is the requirements of transparency and making sure that the public can see what's going on in a recorded way and archivable in a widely available area. In this particular instance, these particular the constituent that brought this to Delegate Solomon, it was such a small group that we felt like if they wanted to serve notice by hand delivering or mailing a printed newsletter to every resident in the jurisdiction, plus advertising at least once in a newspaper of general circulation, that would serve notice requirements because it's a mix of the two. So we, I can't support, but we do not have opposition to this version of the bill.
All right. Matt, do you have anything else to comment on?
No, I just, because you had mentioned it, so this is a reintroduction. The original bill in 2022 was House Bill 381. And the two bills, what you see in House Bill 104 is identical to what was in the third reader version of HB 381 as passed by the House 134-0.
Okay.
I'm happy to discuss what the bill
Okay.
does as well as answer any questions.
Right. Delegate Foley has her hand up.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I would just like to make a couple of comments if I could on
Sure.
the bill.
Of course.
First of all, thank you, Rebecca, for being here. For those of you who don't know, Rebecca is the chair of the, I think, chair or president of the Maryland Delaware Press Association.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you for being here. I just want to say, as a recovering journalist, as I call myself, I think it's incredibly important that when we consider these bills, I support this bill, but when we consider these bills, that we also consider the fact that this is not just about cost. It also is about transparency and making sure that as broad an audience as possible sees the bills, sees the information that's being put out. These laws that were fashioned for notification in community publications of meetings and charter amendments and so forth are for transparency and notice. And the other thing I would point out is that it's also important that people outside of the community also see these notices, because it doesn't, oftentimes they don't just affect the people in that particular community. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Delegate. Delegate Tarasa?
Thank you, Madam Chair. And just for the public and also just generally, I think it'd be helpful if we just got a couple words on what the bill is, what it does.
Okay,
Sure,
yeah, Matt,
sure.
just go
So-
through the bill a little bit.
Absolutely. So the bill modifies the manner in which a chief executive officer of a municipality may deliver charter amendment notices by authorizing the publishing of a fair summary of the proposed amendment in a newspaper of general circulation within the municipality at least once, and delivering a copy of the fair summary of the proposed charter amendment by hand or by mail once to every resident of the municipality. The fair summary of the proposed charter amendment, which would be delivered by hand or by mail, may be included in a printed newsletter or other regular municipal publication. And the bill also requires a municipality to maintain record in accordance with the municipality's record retention policies of the delivery notice and make these records available to the general public in accordance with the Maryland Public Information Act.
And that changes current law, which what is that you have to publish.
Well, it adds to current law because this is an alternative option.
Okay.
So currently you'd have to have 4 postings in a newspaper of general circulation. And that was kind of the crux of the issue in terms of the administrative burden that might create on a smaller municipality.
I think part of the issue too, that Delegate Solomon brought to us is that recently Montgomery County has really no local newspapers of general circulation. They rely on the Washington Post as the closest thing that they can have to that, and it is extremely expensive compared to what most municipalities would be dealing with in other parts of the state, where there are more local newspapers. So that's my recall of the discussion on that. Rebecca, would you like to comment?
Yeah, thank you for bringing that up, Chair Healy. So the Post is the newspaper of general circulation for that particular municipality. The Daily Record is also qualified to submit or to carry notices in that area. And although as the executive director of the Press Association, I don't tell our members what to do, and it's very hard to tell journalists what to do anyway. So it's a losing proposition. But we understand for smaller municipalities, advertising in the Washington Post can be spendy, and so this bill kind of threaded that needle to make sure we had wide notice, and newspaper notice is also online notice, because all of our members publish both in print and online, and the Press Association aggregates all those notices. So this kind of got that wide reach that we were looking for, and then also the hand delivery or printed delivery of the fair summary really made sure that notice was served to the residents of the community.
Okay. Any more questions? Is there a motion on the bill?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, it's been properly moved and seconded. All those in favor of House Bill 104, please say aye.
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 Any opposed, please say no. The ayes have it, and that will be on the voting list for the full committee next when we have our next voting session. Thank you so much. I think that finishes what we're doing today, and it gives us enough time to get to committee for our 1 o'clock meeting.
Yes.
So long, everyone.